The moment the clinic door swung open, the air shifted, like fate itself had stepped inside. John McAllister, the hardened cattle baron of Crescent Valley, froze mid-breath as the doctor walked in, because she wasn't just any doctor. She was the woman he'd once planned to marry. The woman he lost. The woman he never got over. Dr. Emily Hart. For a second, her clipboard slipped, tapping lightly on the floor. Their eyes met, his full of shock, hers full of memories she had buried deep. It had been 12 long years since they last stood within arm's reach. 12 years since heartbreak tore them apart. John cleared his throat, trying to keep his voice steady. Emily. She straightened herself, professional mask snapping over emotions too dangerous to show. Mr. McAllister. It's been a long time. It wasn't long enough for him, not for the apology still sitting like a stone in his chest. But Emily wasn't here for nostalgia. She was here to do her job, and she reminded herself of that as she checked his vitals. Still, her hands trembled when they brushed his arm. The man she once loved, still loved, if she dared admit it, was sitting in front of her, looking older, broader, tired around the eyes, but still unmistakably John. The past came rushing back like a storm. Back when John was the ambitious son of a rancher and Emily was the town girl dreaming of medical school. They were inseparable, two hearts that fit together like puzzle pieces. Until the accident. The one that nearly killed John's father and forced John to abandon college, abandon their future plans, and take over the ranch overnight. Emily had begged him to let her help. But John, consumed by duty, felt he had no right to hold her back from her dreams. So he pushed her away, hard enough that she believed he didn't love her anymore. And she left. Now here they were, pretending to be strangers while the past burned quietly between them. Emily stepped back, finally finding her voice. Your blood pressure's too high. Stress. He let out a dry laugh. Maybe. But what he wanted to say, what he needed to say, pressed at his tongue with a heaviness that made it hard to breathe. When she turned to the cabinet, he finally whispered, I never wanted you to go. She froze. His voice cracked. I never stopped loving you, Emily. She had been prepared for anything, except that. Emily gripped the counter to steady herself. John, that was 12 years ago. I moved on. But the tremor in her voice betrayed her. And John heard it. Before either of them could say another word, a sudden knock shook the door. A nurse hurried in with urgency in her eyes. Dr. Hart, there's been an accident outside. A boy, he's hurt badly. Emily's heart jumped. Prep a trauma room, she ordered, instantly shifting into doctor mode. John watched her sprint out. Without thinking, he followed. When he reached the lobby, he saw the boy, no older than 9, barely conscious, bleeding from a head wound. Emily was kneeling beside him, calm but fierce. Stay with me, sweetheart. I'm right here. John recognized the boy. That's Marcus Finch's kid, he muttered. He fell off a horse last week, it must have reopened a fracture. There was no ambulance. No time. Emily needed help. John scooped the boy into his arms. Tell me where to take him. Together, they rushed through the halls. Emily directed, John steadied the child, and the silent rhythm between them came alive again, a rhythm that felt heartbreakingly familiar. For hours, Emily worked in the emergency room while John paced outside like Marcus's father would. When she finally walked out, exhausted but smiling, John knew the boy had made it. He'll be okay, she said softly. You got him here in time. John let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. You did all the real work. She shook her head. We did it together. That, we, echoed through him. As they stepped outside into the cool evening, neither spoke for a while. The sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the valley gold, the same valley where they'd once dreamed of raising a family, building a life. John finally broke the silence. I pushed you away because I thought loving me would hold you back. But you became everything you said you would. And his voice wavered. I've regretted losing you every single day. Emily turned to him slowly. You didn't lose me, John. You let me go. Her eyes softened. But I never stopped wondering, what if? His heart thudded. What if we try again? Emily swallowed hard. She had built walls. She had built a life. But standing in front of John, seeing the man he had become, kind, steady, loyal, she realized something. She wasn't afraid of risking her heart. She was afraid of never knowing what they could still be. So she whispered, "Then let's not waste any more time." John stepped closer, lifting her chin gently. "Emily, I don't want to lose you again." "You won't," she breathed. "Not this time." They stood there, two broken pasts finally aligning into a whole future. The years had carved lines into their faces, but also wisdom into their hearts. The battles they fought, separately, had led them back to the place where their story began. And now, finally, where it could begin again. In the fading sunlight of Crescent Valley, the cattle baron and the woman he once lost found something stronger than time, distance, or regret. A second chance. A chance they were ready to fight for. A chance they knew was worth everything.